Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Alden. I'm joined today by head women's basketball coach Chris Paul. And Chris, Summit League season's underway. Took on Western Illinois and IUPUI last weekend. What are kind of your thoughts after the first weekend of play?
Well, obviously, Brian, you don't want to start the conference season 0-2. I did anticipate, not that I anticipated losing, but I did anticipate tough games because, Western preseason picked fourth, preseason player of the year, a nice group coming back. And then having to go and play at IUPUI, who was picked third, tough place to play. I knew we had our hands full. I was disappointed in the fact that we gave up the lead at home against Western. But I got to give Western a lot of credit. They played pretty well there in the second half and, went out and beat us. Our defense wasn't where it needs to be. I liked our offense. Our defense wasn't where it needed to be. So we really focused in practice on some defensive schemes and some principles that we had to get better at. And I thought we took that to IUPUI. We played better defense against IUPUI, but then our offense wasn't as good. So we lost a close basketball game. You put yourself in position, one possession game with 3 minutes to go, and we just don't do a couple things down the stretch and lose. So we sit at 0-2. Not the end of the world. We have to get better, but obviously, a little bit of an uphill climb now.
And this weekend, we've got South Dakota State and Oral Roberts coming in. South Dakota State first on Friday. Obviously, always a tough opponent there. Preseason league favorite.
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell me about the Jackrabbits?
That they're very good. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. Every year they're very good. The thing about this South Dakota State team is they're bigger than usual. Their whole starting five is 6 foot or bigger, so they have a lot of size. But they're a very structured basketball team, and if you allow them to just do what they do, and that's move the basketball, set back screens, flare screens, they can kill you. I mean, obviously they go to Arkansas, who's 25th in the country, and win there. They can do some things. Where South Dakota State struggles is when teams are attacking offensively. They're trying to get to the rim, the dribble penetration. They like to overhelp, and then you can kick and shoot the basketball, so you have to make shots. But then defensively, they struggle when the game starts getting up and down the floor. They're averaging over 17 turnovers a game. They will turn the basketball over. So what you're going to see from us is you're going to see us try to really push the tempo at times. I think it suits us. We can score some points, so we're going to try to get up and down the floor. We're going to be aggressive offensively and defensively and make sure that we don't play on our heels. Sometimes I think when teams play South Dakota State, they're too passive and they sit back and hope that they miss. Well, I think the way to beat them and to give them a game is to get up in them and be a little bit more aggressive, and we're going to try to do that.
And then on Sunday, you've got Oral Roberts coming in for an afternoon game. First time we've played them in a few years. Now that they're back in the league, but what can you tell me about the Golden Eagles?
That it's great to have them back. I think it's great for the league to have Oral Roberts because a lot of people around the country are familiar with that university, and it's really good for the Summit League. They start 6'7", 6'2", so whenever you have a 6'7" post player, that's equivalent to about 7'1", 7'2" on the men's side. That's hard to handle. So what we need to do against them is limit her touches by applying pressure and getting up and down the floor as well. They will turn the ball over. They're averaging almost 20 turnovers a game. So we need to get up and down the floor again, turn that tempo up. And I think, Brian, looking at our team right now, because we've talked about our depth, we've talked about the style of play, that we can score points, I think it's in our best interest to really starting to really pick up the pace. Obviously I don't want to give away too much, but we do want to pick up the pace. People are going to see it on film anyways. I'm not really worried about that. We want to get up and down the floor. We don't want to turn this into a 58-50 game. We'd like to score in the 80s, see if teams can keep up with us, and that's what we're going to try to do against Oral Roberts as well.
And so what are your keys for this weekend to pick up 2 big Summit League wins?
Well, number one, we have to start taking pride in defending our home court. Coach Kaufman and I talked about it. There just has to be this will inside that you just don't lose on your home floor in conference play. It doesn't matter whether it's South Dakota State or Omaha or Oral Roberts, whoever. You just have to believe that when you're in your gym, you're going to win. So we need to start stepping up and taking a lot of pride playing here. We need to play as a group. We need to be aggressive offensively and defensively. And, get on the glass, do all the little things. When you've got teams like South Dakota State and Oral Roberts, you can't have wasted possessions offensively or defensively. We can't fall asleep defensively and allow one kid to hit 3 straight threes on us. We can't fall asleep offensively and come down and turn the ball over 3 straight times. We need to, make one mistake, that's fine, but then make sure one mistake doesn't turn into 2, which turns into 4. We've got to limit those mistakes and just carry ourselves and play with a lot of confidence.
All right, Coach. Thanks for taking the time, and make sure you come out and cheer on the Mastodons Friday at 7 and Sunday at 2. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Brian.